Hi everybody, welcome to day 11 of Raising My Vibration in 2018. I hope everybody is loving this journey and following the videos and doing the meditations and the exercises. Remember, the more energy you invest into this focus, the more it will send you on your own personal journey of awakening. So today's focus is going to be about truly understanding that we are so much more than the human form that we are. We are so much more than the thoughts we think, and we are so much more than the emotions we experience. So part of raising our vibration or our awakening, you've heard many teachers talk about having an awakening. And this is what we're doing through raising our vibration. We're raising our vibration so that we can have our awakening as conscious beings, which is truly what we are. We talked a little bit about getting to know our pain body and getting to know our ego. And so I wanted to do a little bit more work on that because, again, you know what often happens to all of us when we're doing this journey is that it's never like this. It's always like this, right? We're always doing this up and down. And what I want to do is I want to be able to give us the tools that we need to be able to get quicker out of the downs and back up into the ups. And so what happens is, it's true that we can become our own worst enemy, that our pain body and our ego will absolutely do things to slow down our awakening process or to stop or to block our awakening process. And so we have to really, really get to know when we are operating from the operation of our pain body. And so I just wanted to do a little bit of some exercises to bring awareness to this. So first of all, again, to go back, if anybody hasn't watched the video about this, so our pain body is a component of our energetic makeup of a human being. So we've got, our three main elements: our soul, our pain body, and our ego. And so our pain body is that energy that is all of the stored thoughts and emotions that we have that are negative or have been hurtful, or any tragedies that we've had, anything that has made us feel sad or fearful, that is comprised of our pain body. Those are the energies of the pain body. And so most of the time, these can go back into our childhood. And so if, for example, if we were abandoned as a child, that will show up in the vibration of our pain body. If there's any abuse in our childhood, that shows up in our pain body. If we had, if we, growing up as adults, if we have partners that are abusive, that becomes part of our pain body. And so the key to working through this and letting go of our pain body, and this actually happens through awakening, we can actually work through the pain body and absolutely have it let go and not be part of our being, is becoming aware of it and aware of how it operates. And so part of this is realizing that all of our thoughts and all of our emotions carry a vibration. And through our awakening process, we need to be able to create a detachment from our thoughts and from our emotions so that we can create space. And so we can do this through, we talked about the mindful practice, the practice of mindfulness. We can do this through meditation. And we can do this through awareness. So today's focus, what I want our focus to be on is, yesterday we did the what's your story about money. I want to know what your story is about you. And I want you to really look at this in a big perspective. So again, when we started yesterday, we wrote down money on the piece of paper. And so what our exercise, we're going to do a couple, but for the first exercise, what I want you to do is I want you to introduce yourself to yourself. Okay? So just on a piece of paper, I just want you to start off with, my name is blah, 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 and this is who I am. And it doesn't have to be a paragraph or a story. It can just be simple words. You could put words that describe you. And again, I don't want you to do any thinking about this process. I just want it to come from your whole being, so not from your thinking mind. I want it to come from, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to see what kind of words and thoughts and emotions you have stored deep inside your pain body. And so, sometimes this can be, if we think that we're fat, or we think that we're stupid, or we think that we're unlucky, or, so all of these things, I want you to get them out. And you know what? Some people are really, really good with not having their pain body come out. Some people, the pain body only comes out a couple times a year. And most of the time they have an awareness of it, and so they're able to keep it in check. And for others, it comes out on a daily basis. And so for those of us who are still at the place where our pain body tends to come out to play quite often, we need to become aware of the fuel that is fueling the pain body, okay? And so our fuel is going to be coming from our thoughts and from our emotions. And so a huge part of that is becoming aware of it. So once we shine the light on some of our darkness that we still have inside, then it absolutely will break it up and help it to release, and we will no longer have it. If you think about this, through our process, through our awakening process and raising our vibration, very similar to when I do mediumship, when I do readings for clients and I channel spirit, I need to be a clear channel in order to receive messages clearly. In order for me to have that strong connection, that strong link with spirit, I need to be a clear channel. And when we are going through the awakening process, we absolutely need to be clear channels in order to be fully connected to source energy, to fully feel that connection all the time. And energetically, what happens is we get full of the lower, denser vibrations. So if you can visualize your whole being, put a space around you to include the space around you as well, and your physical being. And so if we are completely full of our thoughts and our emotions, so think, how many thoughts do you have in a day? Thousands of thoughts. So energetically, all of these thoughts are in your whole energy. They're in your life force. They're in your being, and they're bouncing around and they're competing for energy with everybody. And what happens is you reach maximum capacity. And so this is often what happens when people will have a panic attack or a breakdown. Because what happens is you actually energetically just receive, you are full, you are at maximum capacity, and everything just has to go somewhere. It can no longer stay there because there's no more room. And some of the lower, harder experiences that we've had through our life lessons are actually buried so deep into our body that it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to break them up and get them out of there. So if you can visualize your whole being and all of your thoughts, your experience, your emotions, they're all energetically coming into layering, layer in your physical being, to the point where you have no more space left. So your hard drive is completely full. It makes it impossible for you to have an awakening. It makes it impossible for you to raise your vibration. So we have to get rid of all of the stuff that we've been storing. And we talked about this in our physical bodies. So when our whole energetic being starts to get overloaded with all of these toxic vibrations and all of these lower dense vibrations, it will absolutely show up in physical ways for us. This is how disease starts in our body. It starts off as a thought or an emotion or an experience, and then just feeds off all of the lower dense vibrations that we have. So what we are doing through raising our vibration and having our awakening is we are letting go of these lower dense vibrations so that we can create space. And it's in that space that we have clarity and connection, and our awakening happens. we need to remember through this whole process, and this is really important for you guys, is that we need to do this from a place of love and from a place of fear. Sorry, not from a place of fear, from a place of peace. So from love and from peace, to remove the fear that is stopping us and blocking us. So when we are becoming aware of our thoughts, we are going to, and you guys have heard this from, many of the great teachers that talk about being the watcher, being the observer of the thoughts. That's going to be our exercise today. And I know that for some people who are just starting this journey, that can sound very conceptual. What do you mean, be the watcher of the thoughts? And this is where we need to understand that we are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. We are not our thoughts. These are just energy patterns that come into our awareness. And we need to learn how to not attach to them. We need to be able to see them, have the awareness of them, and allow them to come in and to go out. What happens is our pain body sees them, attaches to them, and then it becomes part of our energetic being. But this is not our true nature, and this is not how we were meant to build our awakening and our journey through our soul. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we become the watcher or the observer? So first of all, we need to remind ourselves that whenever we are experiencing any lower vibration feelings, so anger, resentment, bitterness, jealousy, whenever these emotions pop up into us, we need to do an instant recognition that this is our pain body, that this is not me. And so this is where we become the observer of it. So the emotion will come up. Somebody will say something to you. Somebody will show you something that triggers you and makes you angry. You have that immediate gut response that comes through. You're going to allow that to happen because we are still, we are a work in progress. When that happens, though, you are not going to energetically attach to those emotions. You are going to allow it to come up, and then you are going to watch it dissipate and go away. Okay? And remember that this is always a choice. When the opportunity presents itself for us to dig in and attach ourselves to, whatever the ego or the pain body's brought into our attention as a project, it's absolutely our choice at that point to stand back and say, I'm just going to watch this one. Because that's the energy of our soul. Our soul really has the energy of, I'm just going to observe it. I'm just going to watch it. Where the pain body and the ego are, no, this isn't going to happen. This isn't right. I need to do something about this. That's pain body and ego energy. We need to have this awareness so we are not attaching ourselves to the thoughts and to the emotions. Recognizing that when they come up, they are coming up because our pain body and our ego want it, but we don't want it for our journey of enlightenment and awakening. Okay. So a really cool exercise that I teach in meditation class is to teach us the whole of being the observer. Is really simple, and anybody can do this in any space. So all you have to do is you sit in a room. My office, as you can see, we've got tons of stuff on the walls. A great space to do it in. Any busy space is a great place to do it in. And so the object of this exercise is to become the observer. So when we are the observer, we are not attaching to any thoughts. We are not putting any judgments in place. We are not putting any labels on anything. We are just simply being the observer. And so the exercise is to sit in the room, start off on one of the walls, and I want you just to pick one of the objects on the walls or an area on the wall. And you are going to give your full being attention to the area on the wall. And through this, you can do this through a meditative state. So focusing on your breathing, bringing your awareness into your breathing, but still observing the wall. And the object is to be the observer. So no thought, no judgment, no labels on it. And this can be anything like, oh, that's the Buddha. Oh, I love that color. Any thought that you get makes you become aware that you now are not the observer anymore. You've become an active participant. So when this happens, you are now going to switch to the next wall. The second that a thought, a judgment, or a label comes into your mind, you turn your attention now to the next wall and you begin the exercise. And so you go through the 4 walls that you're in the room, and you continue to do this until you reach a point on when you're doing the exercise on the wall that you actually have a pretty good space of time that you just are the observer. That you've actually, if any thoughts had come through your mind about anything that you were looking at, they just go through and they're gone. And so becoming aware of what our thoughts, what our emotions are, and how quickly we attach ourselves to them. Okay? This is another, perfect exercise to do is when we're having a conversation with somebody. When you're having a conversation with somebody, completely and absolutely, listen to the person that's talking to you. Listen with your whole being. Get out of your head. Stop receiving it through thoughts. Because what happens then is we start interacting before it's even our turn to start talking. And a lot of us do this, right? We, missed the last half of what somebody was saying because we were off on our own thinking and our own thoughts. We need to have this awareness that we're doing this, because as soon as we have the awareness of it, then we can create the space, which is what we need in order to create our alignment and our awakening. Okay. So everybody try that exercise out and let me know how it feels. It's going to be really tough for some of you. Some of you who are really attached to your thoughts and to your emotions, that's going to be a tough one to do. But remember, you guys have come here for a reason. There are no coincidences and no accidents. The fact that you guys are watching these videos and that you're following them and you're doing the meditations means that there's a part of you that is awakening. There's a part of you that is acknowledging that this is what you are meant to do. And so you need to stay strong on that and focused on that. Okay? So I just want everybody to close their eyes. And we just want to tune into our own energy. Today we're just going to do a little bit of a scan. So I want you to close your eyes and take 3 slow, deep breaths in through your nose. And we are exhaling through our mouth. Really use that exhale. That's, a lot of us spend the day really tight and a lot of excess energy. I want you to use your exhale to release everything so that you have space today. So in through your nose, breathing in light and love. And really letting go of all of the low, stagnant energy, sending it down to Mother Earth so that she can change it back into love and send it to us. And your 3rd breath. And keeping your eyes closed, I'm now calling in my team of guides and angels. And we are sending the vibration of awareness to you all. Awesome. You guys have an amazing day. I'm so glad that you're joining me on this journey, and I will see you tomorrow.